The Dixon was designed back in like 2009 as a custom model. I had just recently gotten licensed to use the Spidey hole from Spyderco, and I wanted a knife that kind of featured that opening mechanism. So I basically designed the Dixon kind of around the Spidey hole, and it was I think it was my second folder design officially. And so I made it it evolved a lot. The first ones were pretty flat slabs, and it didn't have the contouring and stuff like it has now. And it's evolved over the years. I made quite a few of them as a custom maker from, like I said, 2009 all the way up till, I guess I probably made the last one in somewhere around 2019, maybe even 2020. We have been making the Mac 2, mostly the 3.5 for a few years now, and we had started noticing a trend of more and more people asking for a bigger version of it. And so I didn't really want to just make another version of the Mac 2 at this point. So I decided that we wanted to do the Dixon as the next model. But because we've been getting a lot of requests for a bigger version of the Mac 2, I decided that maybe we would just go with start with a bigger version of the Dixon. And once I did it, I kind of like fell in love with the size of it and stuff. So it just kind of felt right, and wanted to make something that was a hard use folder, has some refinement about it, but that something that was big, beefy, but still would have a really good performance, and which is what I think we've accomplished with the Dixon. To take this Dixon from a custom to the production model was actually a little bit challenging, because way back when I designed the custom model, I was still drawing everything completely on paper. I was using plastic templates that I would use to cut the parts out and stuff, but I basically just had to start from scratch and remodel it completely. And as I did that gave me the chance to make some of those small tweaks. The hollow grinds that we're putting on these Dixons are a big part of why they have such good performance, and that's something new for us. We've done hollow grinds in the past, but they haven't been, they were actually milled, so step milling, which I never really was a huge fan of. It was just born out of a need I wanted to make hollow grinds, and that was the only way I could get it done at the time. But we've found a new way to do the blade bevels, which is allowing us to do a really nice, true, deep hollow grind like I actually like to put on my blades, and that's been a game changer. That's allowed us to put a really good high performance hollow grind on there, and they really perform. Most people, when they pick the knife up, they see how big and beefy it is. I think they're really shocked the first time they go to use it because of how well it actually slices and performs. Another feature that's different on these than we've ever done on the Mac 2 and the stuff that we were doing before is the contoured handles. So these have a very heavy, fully contoured handle, which looks great, but it also really helps the ergonomics. They really feel good in hand, and it doesn't hurt on the frag pattern that gives it a really cool 3D look too on that. One of the benefits performance-wise of the contours, besides looking good, is it makes the knife carry like a much smaller knife. The Dixon being the size that it is, if it was just kind of slab, flat handles, it would probably carry like a brick in your pocket. But because they're so heavily contoured, number one, that contouring removes quite a bit of weight from the handles. That, along with the weight reduction pockets we put on the inside, makes the handles really kind of slim down, and they're not nearly as heavy as they look. And then when you put it in your pocket and carry it, because it's contoured, it's going to feel like a much smaller knife. These carry like a much smaller knife in your pocket, and then when you go to use it, it performs like a much bigger knife. So the performance things I've been talking about with our high performance hollow grind, and then our contoured handles and the ergonomics of it, this makes the Dixon a really good knife for people that actually are going to use their knives and hard use their knives. It's got plenty of bulk and beef to it to stand up to pretty much anything you throw at it. And then it's got the performance with our high performance hollow grind on it, and the contouring of the handles. It just, to me, it's a really good, it's a blue collar man's knife, but still with some refinement that looks good and makes you feel good to be carried it. So going forward with the Dixon, we're for sure going to keep exploring more handle designs as far as textures and milling patterns on it. We got quite a few lined up that we're planning on doing, and maybe even try some new stuff. So there'll be a lot of variety coming there. We're always still playing with our finishes with the anodizing and our two-tone finishes and things like that. So we're gonna see what all we can do with that. And then for the blades, I plan on for sure having something out there that those of you that are Tanto fans will probably be happy about. So I think we're gonna be able to do some pretty cool stuff with it going forward.